everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making rhubarb and blackcurrant fruit leather. This time of year there's an abundance of both, and it's a great way to long-term preserve fruits. Rhubarb is full of vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, K, fibre and calcium. The blackcurrants are obviously full of vitamin C and lots of antioxidants. So combined together in one fruit roll, it is a real powerhouse of vitamins. If you also had a batch of pemmican, the two items together really are the ultimate survival foods. So this is the start of the fruit leather. I've chopped and prepared the rhubarb. I've got quite a lot, so it will cook down, and when it dehydrates it goes right down as well. I've also picked and prepared a load of blackberries. I've taken off most of the big stalks. I'm not too worried about it, and I shall add some sugar to that and then cook it down to a mash. If you can make fruit leather out of any fruit, but if you're going to do like blackberries and apples and stuff like that, and you want a more enriched flavour, I would say add some lemon or some citric acid. You don't need to with excuse me, you don't need to with either of these products because they're both very tangy. The blackcurrants will also add all the vitamin C's and stuff like that, and a really nice colour to the fruit leather. So I'm just going to turn the stove on and put a little bit of water in the bottom. Not too much, because obviously we're going to have to dehydrate it off again. So I'm just going to put, because it's quite a large pot, just one leaky bowl. And like I say, we'll just cook that down. The fruit's beginning to cook down nicely. I've left the lid off so that it starts to evaporate, so the flavour will start to concentrate already, and I won't need to strain so much liquid off later. Hopefully none, but we'll see. I haven't added any sugar yet. I'll do that at a later date, because the flavour will intensify as it reduces down, and also when it's dehydrated it really does intensify the flavour. So I shall add the sugar and then cook it for a bit longer right at the end. While I'm waiting for my fruit to cook down into a puree, I'm going to get my trays ready for the dehydrator. I've cut the greaseproof paper to size, and I'm going to give it a very thin coat of vegetable oil to stop it all from sticking. Need to get it right to the edge, because that's the bit that will stick the most, and I have learnt that by previous experiences. The fruit puree, you don't need any special pans. I've got mine in my preserving pan because it's the only pan I had. Didn't really got big enough for it. I could use the pressure cooker, but I just use the preserving pan, and it's just on a low heat. I've been stirring it every so often so that it doesn't stick. So the puree's getting there. I've moved it over onto a very, very low heat just so it continues to reduce down. I've used a masher to try and crush out some of the bigger lumps. I do have a stick blender, but I always, when I'm doing these recipes, I like to do them as if people haven't got all the equipment that I've got in my kitchen. So I'm going to add some sugar now, just a little bit at a time. So you just add sugar to your own taste. Just going to get a spoon. It will be very hot, so just try. I think I'm going to need a bit more than that. So like I say, it's just sugar to your taste. At this point you can decide whether you're going to have a sweet fruit roll or a sour one, a bit like the fruit winders you can buy. So this is absolutely perfect for the kids, grandkids, in your backpack. Once preserved and vacuum packed, I've had mine for a couple of years and they're still really, really tasty. I'm going to add a little bit more. It doesn't need a lot more than that, if I'm honest. You can add a bit of honey if you wanted to add honey to it. It's a really, really great way to use your fruit that you've got growing. You can make vegetable ones if you wanted to. It is still missing something. I've actually decided to put a little bit of vanilla essence in. Oh, that's really nice. That vanilla's just perfect. So I'm going to let that cool a bit before I try and handle it. I might even just leave it on the stove for half an hour, just stirring every so often, just try and get some of that excess moisture out of it. But yeah, that's looking good. So my puree's been cooling for about 3 hours. It's still warm, but it's I can handle it now, so I'm not worried about burning myself. So I've got my pre-prepared trays here. Just going to ladle it on, and we want it about 1/4 of an inch thick. Get it as close to the edge as you can, because there's no point in wasting space. It will obviously go much thinner as it dries out. So that's the puree. and that's the first one done. I'm going to do the rest of it on camera and then get back to you. So I've loaded the dehydrator with the 6 trays. I've set it for 6 hours at 60 degrees centigrade. I shall check it in about 2 hours because sometimes the bits in the middle don't dry evenly, so sometimes you have to spread it around a bit. Also, we'll probably need to rotate the trays around because the top and bottom tend to do better than the middle ones, so I shall have a look at it in about 2 hours. So it's a lot drier around the outsides, so I'm going to push from the middle out to the corners. And then I'm going to pop that back in the dehydrator, rotating the racks around front to back and mixing them around to make sure they're dehydrating evenly. So I rotated the fruit leather in the dehydrator. It took about 6.5 to 7 hours. Then I just left the door open on the dehydrator to let it cool down naturally. So this is it. It comes off easily. You can see it's dry. There's no sticky bits anywhere, and it's still pliable. I'll give you a little shot of it, so you can see how thin it is now. And I did put it on quite thick. If you wanted it thicker again, you could add more to the dehydrator at the time, but obviously it will just take longer to dry out. So if you wanted to make it all pretty, the scrap bits you can just nibble on. So just cut it all the way around. And then I'm just going to cut it into probably 4. And then you can just roll it up. And put a bit of sellotape on. You need to get the tape right round, big enough to be right round, otherwise it won't hold. And there you are, nice little snack. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it into 8. Because like I say, they are quite concentrated. Going to take off the paper, roll it up and put it straight in the vacuum pack bags. Just remember that this recipe is rhubarb, and it is full of fibre, but it may also act as a bit of a laxative if you're not used to eating it. So don't eat too much in one go until you're fine with it. I normally vacuum pack mine. I put 5 or 6 in a little bag at a time because I'm normally sharing it, or once it's opened it's fine for a few days anyway. You can put them in jars with an oxygen absorber if you want to. You don't necessarily need the oxygen absorber, but I always sort of add one. And I've had them last, well, they've been eaten before, but when I first started making it, I put 1 pack aside to see how long it would last, and 2 years later it was absolutely fine. That was the same as bananas actually. When I first got my dehydrator, I thought, oh, I'd try and do some bananas. I didn't actually like the texture of it that much, dehydrated bananas, but I've had them. I've got one pack that's a couple of years old, and I opened it and it was absolutely fine to eat, no problems whatsoever. So I'm going to carry on and finish the rest of my rolls. So that's me, all done. It doesn't matter why you're making it, whether it's for snacking, hiking, camping, or survival food, a way of getting fruit into the children. They're absolutely delicious, and you should really give it a go. So thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. If you did find any of this helpful and informative, please give it the old thumbs up and a like and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you, bye.